Okay, now Amrita, I want to ask you here that, now that you've written this book, that what did I ever see in him? So do you think that the expectations at the, just at the onset of a relationship are so high that disillusionment sets in even before they themselves realize that what is happening?
Exactly, that's exactly what happens. When you enter a relationship, you have your own ideas, you have your own sense of what exactly you need in a relationship. And just like the other person has the same expectations from you. But as you kind of start living, and this is really what happens, because before you get married, we are in such a point in time that we need to work out certain things. We need to discuss things about the finances. We need to work things out about who's going to be doing what. And it's not about something I was telling Raj Lakshmi a while ago, that it's not about a man doing certain things the way it was done and women doing certain things as was prescribed earlier. It's about the roles that we are comfortable with. It's absolutely okay if a man wants to take up the responsibility of being at home and taking care of the household and taking care of the kids, as long as the woman is ready to go out and work and get the, so as to say, earn the bread. But this is something that the couples, Dr. Vohra was saying, that this is something that has to be decided by the couples themselves. And we really need to sit and work out the expectations for it to work out well, work out without any stumbling blocks in the relationship.
So, Doctor,
two families, if it is love marriage and it gets accepted from both the sides, it becomes ultimately arranged marriage. Or if it doesn't become, then the chaos starts happening from day one, because the girl side parents, the boy side parents, both have to have a balanced frequency, or both the sides have to be sensible enough to understand that the egos of the elders should not come in between. And many times, rather most of the times, we see that the problem is the relationship is okay otherwise, but because of their relatives they are fighting. The relationship, the conflict of the relatives is boiling down to the relationship. So you have to be very practical about it. Coming over to the premarital counseling part, yes, it's becoming prevalent, and rather I would say why we have to understand. These days you don't have anybody to talk to about your innermost thoughts, about your innermost expectations, about your innermost apprehensions. And you might feel that, that if I ask this to my friend, what he would think. These days are not for long term. As age advances, if you are thinking of settling down in 30s, you have become crystallized, your mindset is crystallized. Already. When you were getting married at 18 above or 20, 21, you are still flexible. So your personality is crystallized, you are not likely to change, you become more rigid. So both the sides tend to have clashes then. And if you are coming in an Indian setup, if the boy is trying to support the wife by being a metrosexual or a modern man, the mother of the boy will think consciously and subconsciously. No, consciously she might think, mere bete ka ghar hai, but subconsciously she compares herself. When she was a daughter-in-law, she was governed by her mother-in-law. Why is it that the girl is working well, it's okay, but she must, reciprocate the same way. She must do the household chores, she must do all the religious ceremonies. It puts too much of stress on a working woman, because they want perfection in everything, which is not possible.
Which is not possible. That's so well said. Now, Raj Lakshmi, again, as we, just before the break, we were just beginning to talk about the divorce rates, which are really, really rising now, much how it was earlier. So do you think that has something to do something?
Yeah, there are a number of factors for it. To begin with, I would say that it is not just that the mother-in-law puts a pressure on the way the daughter-in-law should behave or the son should behave. It's the society at large. We, being in a patriarchal society, we are used to a particular kind of a mental setup. I'm not saying that we still should continue with it.
Correct.
But at the same time, what happens is that even if we want to change, sometimes due to our surroundings, which could be neighbors or which could be relatives, friends, or all the time there's a constant pressure on us. So that pressure, when we get it to our homes inside, we change completely. So even if we want to be, sometimes we are unable to do so because of the surroundings. Surroundings would include both economic surroundings, the political surroundings, that is the political surroundings would mean the power equation between husband and wife, or between man and women. And the other thing is that this expectation which we are talking about, we keep building up. In the sense, there's so much of media, hype about how a man should be, how a woman should be, what an ideal man and what ideal woman is. And we keep building up there in our minds. Sometimes what happens is that we are it's like, you know, overloaded electrical bulb. That is, you know, we expect too much and then it tends to fuse out. So that's what's happening. The divorce rates again are because of the same thing. See, outside the women has changed drastically, but the moment she enters the house, both men and women have not matured enough to understand and take that change. And because of that, there are clashes inside the house. See, because see, I being a working woman, I know how I behave outside and how I behave inside. If I'm in a group, I'm an entirely different person. But if I'm with my relatives, my in-laws or my husband or someone, I'm a different kind of a person. So those personalities, you have to be mature. I'm not saying that I'm mature, but what I'm saying is one has to be really very balanced to do all that. At our age, maybe our generation would still.
Because one thing that I believe is that today what men and women both need is companionship more than anything else, and that is something they are really willing to go all out for. We have stress everywhere, everyone's working, there is just no time for anything else, and companionship is something that is the basic need. It's a basic human need, and this is something which goes for both men and women. So this phenomena, I would say, which has started to happen, I think will go a long way, and it's frowned upon at the moment, but the way I see things changing, the way I see the mindset changing, people will be more open to it, and they'll understand what actually goes behind it, that it's basically just that bonding, just a companionship, just somebody to sit and talk to, just somebody to come back home to, is something which everybody needs. It's a very basic human need. That is something everyone will understand. So
true. So you think this is one positive change that needs to be strengthened probably in every which way. Right. Well, folks, it's time for us to slip into yet another break. But remember that today we are talking about a very interesting topic. We are talking about the changing equations in men-women relationships. We'll continue with this, but right on the other side of the break. So don't go away. Today we are talking about the changing equations in men-women relationships. Since we were on the point of talking about people who get together, say at a very, very later age because of whatever reasons. So on the one side, we do find that men and women
making their own careers, they are not sitting at home.
True.
The loneliness sets in. There are so many issues, and loneliness, once it creeps, then it gives you anxiety and depression. So if they are the older generation